The Managing Madrid podcast is coming to Toronto, Canada. We're very excited. Myself, Kiyan Sobhani, the great Leah Revelle, the great Mehdi Hassan. We're coming to Toronto during the next international break. That's the only good thing that's come out of these international breaks. Too many of them, but gives us some time to meet you guys, travel a little bit. So November 14th and November 16th, we are doing two events in Toronto. On the 14th, we're doing a pickup footy session at TAFC Academy. And on the 16th, we're doing an interactive podcast at Firkin Pub on Bay Street. We got a ton of stuff to hand out to you guys and a lot to discuss in the Xabi Alonso era. If you're in Toronto, Ontario, make sure to come out. The link to book your spot to that weekend is in the show notes. It's in the comments. Just click on it and we'll see you there. And without further ado, let's break down the shit show. Getafe 0, Real Madrid 1.
Nice article in the Managing Madrid blog. Wonderful lads that do a great job there. And worth reading about that man there. Karim Benzema needs to rest, and the numbers reveal why.
Times ended up almost looking like a 6-3-1. Some very good writing about that on the Managing Madrid website. First rate podcast as well. Of course, Fede Valverde was a huge part of the equation.
Leah Revelle is here. Leah, this was almost a really, really bad Sunday night.
Yeah, almost was. Before even the goal. Honestly, before even the subs, I was like, what are we going to talk about? And then it was good, and then it was almost bad again. So
I'd like to start here. Anyone who watches Getafe, let me fix that. You guys should not watch Getafe. It's something you should not do with your life. You should be doing other things like watching other teams play football. You should be going out and playing footy with your friends, spending time with your loved ones. Do not watch Getafe play in your spare time. We did that for you guys. And if you guys listened to our preview podcast we did with Mehdi on Friday, you would know that this is a team that does not like scoring goals. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if a Getafe player accidentally scores a goal, Bordalas takes them into a room and just whips them in front of the whole team. How dare you score a goal? This is not what we do. Getafe we're here, we exist because we want to break legs, break kneecaps. We want to have 300 players in the box. We want to piss off our opponents. And if you dare cross the halfway line, I will berate you in front of the whole locker room. They have an XG of a 5.5 heading into this game. Dead last in the league. They got a really good defense. They can play defense. People were calling for Endrick to start this game. And I even saw comments like, why is Mbappe starting? Like, you got to rest him. Objectively speaking, Leah, this game is the hardest game to score in this upcoming stretch. That includes Juve, that includes Barca, that includes Liverpool. In fact, I would actually say this and the Rayo game away were the two that I actually was worried about as banana peels. I'm glad we got it. Take the 3 points and run. Get the hell out of there. We'll never talk about this game again. And of course, it was the Goulet to Mbappe connection that unlocked it. And it was.
I'll do you one better.
Yeah.
I'll say that this game was probably one of the hardest to win all season. And these are the matches that win you seasons. Like, these are the matches that win you titles. You know what I mean? So yeah, Snorefest until it was almost a shit show all over again. Crazy.
Yeah. And I actually mentioned this to Mehdi too. Like, our track record in Getafe is actually good in the sense that we win games, but we win very, very low margins. It's like 1-0 maximum.
Yeah.
Barca haven't scored a goal in this. Have only scored one goal in this stadium in the past 5 years. 5 visits, 1 goal. That's how hard it is to break these guys down. Yeah, it's a tough team to play against in their stadium. Let's start from the top.
Okay.
And again, like I agree with you. I think you told me off air. This is a pretty boring game.
Yeah,
It was tough
annoying.
to get into. This was
Mhm.
definitely the most boring of all the podcasts like we're gonna have to do. This is at the top of the list of like it's kind of boring. There's not much happening. Getafe are defending. It seemed like 11,000 men, not 11 men in the box.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
we got to get these super chats out of the way too. Nishlish Patel says Getafe take the ball out of football. Ankor Jyoti is in India with cheap super chats, so he's just letting it rain. Thank you. Um, Alberto Batar says this might be harder than Juve and Barca. I don't know if harder is the right word, like overall, because objectively Juve and Barca are better than Getafe, but I do think it's harder to score against Getafe than it is to score against Juve and Barca. You might concede more against Juve and Barca, but you should be able to score more against those teams too.
Also, it could be harder with broken limbs because that's what they were doing to us. So, but
Yeah.
it's not a surprise. This is how it is always against them, home or away. Like, it's always some version of this. Now let's start from the top.
Let's go through the lineups. First time Camavinga and Bellingham started together this season. Rodrigo gets the left wing, Mbappe up top, Masantuono gets the right wing, Arda Güler gets a rare rest or comes off the bench. Alaba surprise starter, and that lasted 45 minutes before he left injured. According to Mario Cortejano, who was tweeting during the game, he says nothing serious, something with his hamstring. Raul Asensio comes in at halftime, and everything else pretty status quo. Valverde taking the right back spot in the absence of Trent and Carvajal. Carreras getting the left back slot, and Militao fills out the roster with Tchouaméni as the DM. I mean, I think this game actually kind of went as I expected it to be. Now, I will say, I would have hoped for an earlier goal. That almost came with an Mbappe break in the first half, but this was Real Madrid with a lot of the ball and Getafe not threatening much, if at all. And it was just hard to break them down. And especially without a player like Arda Güler on the field, he's the best, creative kind of spark and the guy who can play the final ball in the team. He wasn't in until the second half. And yeah, I would say like the subs, Leah, combination of the subs plus Getafe probably getting tired. And Vini, gotta love him, man. He comes in and immediately gets under their skin.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, I think two things have come from this. Number one, it's very clear that Arda needs to start. I think I saw he has like 12 or 13 GA, and it's October. So his link up with Mbappe is great. I think it's very clear between that and his playmaking that like he's an undoubted starter. I'm happy to see Rodrigo get minutes. I don't think he had much chemistry with Mbappe, but it's a good start for him. The thing about Vini is he didn't even do too much. He knew what he had to do when he came on to get under their skin. He got 2 reds in 10 minutes. And that's a hell of a game for confidence for him. Even with the little back heel pass to Brahim in the box at the end of the game, those kinds of that kind of flair, when Vini has that, he's feeling himself. So I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to improve his confidence as well.
I think with regards to Rodrigo and Vini, I think what Rodrigo did well in the first half was that, and in the second half, his pressing was really good in this game. He was immediately there to win the ball back anytime Getafe had the ball deep, and he was working really hard on defense. He also had set up Mbappe with a really nice disguised pass in the first half. That leads to the big Mbappe chance in the first half. Probably should have had an assist with that one. When Vini came in, I think it was just very clear that he wanted to introduce some chaos into the game, which was needed. When you have a team that is very heavy with their challenges, they're not afraid to go in and, with bone crunching challenges. He immediately got under their skin. The first thing he did when he comes on the field, he says something to Iglesias, the right back. Iglesias responds by just clocking him and getting a yellow card.
Mhm.
And then like a couple minutes later, it was Kike that Vinicius did that to. Kike decks him, gets a yellow card. The funniest bit in all this was probably Bordalas sends in Neom because he's like, okay, well, my right back, my right center back have yellow cards. We don't want Vinny to send him. We don't want Vinny to get them sent off. He brings in Neom, and just like that, he gets him sent off. And I didn't even see the red card because I was typing away some analysis, and then I heard the commentator say there was another red card, which I didn't even see, to be fair. But I understand that was a second yellow. I think the second red card was a second yellow.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, I mean, by the time that Vinny came in and Goulet came in, and we were just piling on the pressure, they eventually cracked. But again, it wasn't easy at all. Like some of those sequences, like in the box in the second half, you look at what they're trying to do. They're trying to infiltrate the box. There's literally 200 players in the box. They're just falling over each other's feet. It's pretty crazy. So, God love the Goulet to Mbappe connection.
Yeah, I think he should start from now on, no matter what. How do you think that he fits in? No, let's back up. What do you think of Jude and his performance?
I actually like Jude overall. I thought he got better as the game wore on. I thought the first couple plays of the game, he looked like he was just trying to find his rhythm. Some of his controls and touches in tight spaces before Getafe like snapped him in half were really impressive. Made some really good off-ball runs. His counter pressing was good. I think just a lot of the stuff that impressed me with him was just little flicks in tight spaces, little moments of ball progression, control under tight pressure, take escape pressure. He was good with his aerial challenges too. Is it peak Jude? Not yet. Was it, I think, composed and got better as the game wore on? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, I mean, he didn't play for the last week and a half or however long international break was, and hasn't been consistently getting minutes since he's been back from injury. So the rest, I'm sure, did him well. He's looked better than he has since he came back from injury. So I think he'll just improve continuously. Massantuono?
It was kind of a rough. Well, let me say this. I don't think he played particularly bad. I think he was trying to do the right things and he was trying to break lines. He had some nice touches. He had some good attempts at line breaking. And then, by the time he came off, it was clear like we just kind of maybe needed something different from that position. And I don't think. Actually, it's not. I don't think him coming on, because what happened was Vinny comes on for Massantuono. Rodrigo shifts to the right. I don't think like that particular thing changed much, other than Vinny got going. Rodrigo didn't do much better on the right wing, I don't think. And then I think when Goulet was introduced, that's when the complexion of the team really changed. And this was interesting. I mean, we needed a goal. We had pretty much the kitchen sink on the field.
Yeah.
We had Vinny, Mbappe, Goulet, Bellingham, and Rodrigo, those five all on the field. And I think what you were alluding to when you said, no, let's back up, was like, how do we make it work with Goulet and Bellingham? It's kind of something similar to this. Like I think they're gonna coexist. And I think contrary to some popular belief, some people say that they can't coexist and they can't play together. You need one of them. I actually think they complement each other. I think they make each other's lives easier because there's less pressure on one of them, less onus on one of them to do everything in terms of ball progression and playing that final ball. So I think, and I wrote about this on the website. Everyone should go read it. I wrote a big column. It's pinned on the website now. But just about like different fits and in different roles, I think those two together will work. And I think they make each other's lives easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that it's one game, so it's hard to tell. But I think that, like I said before, if we've learned anything, it's that I think Arda's, what he brings in terms of playmaking and creativity is like that's a necessity. That's something that we need in the lineup, I think. And I agree with you. I think they do complement each other. And I think if we were to drop someone, it would obviously probably be Masantuono. I think he will kind of be, I could see him in the role of like a Brahim, where like he's super electric, like he doesn't stop running, he can dribble, he can get, he can break lines, he can get in behind, he can cut through tight spaces. I think that on tired legs for some minutes, like as a rotational and, maybe the odd start here and there, I think that's a good role for him as he continues to develop. And then also I think that way it's like, I think obviously with Rodrigo too, that's pretty obvious what's happening. Masantuono, if we were to choose between Masantuono and Rodrigo on the right, it would 10 out of 10 be Masantuono just based on what he offers. But I don't know. It's hard to say because Rodrigo sometimes with Brazil, he was great. Before international break, we saw some, a little more from him, but today I don't feel like we saw that much. So
Yeah,
if you want my opinion.
No, I mean the
Yeah,
Masantuono experience has been pretty consistent so far in that he brings offensive chaos and he works hard defensively and he is fearless. And a lot of that is just good energy, positive energy to have on the field. And as you see his career progress, you'll see that get polished more and more, I think is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But again, this was not an easy game for anybody in the world. This is not, again, when your thing is like you're a line breaking winger and you have three defenders marking you constantly. And I will say this about Getafe, for all the stuff I hate about them, you know, I understand they have a small budget. They do everything they can. What they do really well is like when we were swinging the ball around and we were knocking on the door as much as we could. I understand like the clear cut chances were not prolific, and I'll have to look at the XG. But if you look at the, and I'll share my screen. If you look at the momentum chart, we're knocking on the door constantly and we're having putting waves and waves of pressure. But when you're swinging the ball around and you are trying to find openings and you have all these intricate link up sequences, Getafe were rotating so quickly and so efficiently and just plugging all the holes and plugging the box. It's not easy. And Kiyan Sobhani was, the commentator that I had today, and he was making the point like, how many times have we said it this season? Does Gonzalo Garcia make sense in a game like this? Should Jude Bellingham be crashing the box more? Yeah. I lost my train of I had a question in there, right?
I don't
Maybe
know if
not.
you did. I just think that Xabi Alonso is doing some experimenting. We said this like a couple weeks ago that eventually he'll land on like a lineup that makes sense, and I'm sure there'll be rotations based on opponents. But as time goes on, it's becoming clearer and clearer who should be starting and who should not be starting. And I think also people tend to forget that like there's exterior factors to just like a performance as well. Like Masantuono, this guy has been pretty much starting or getting minutes every match since he came to Madrid at 17. Like he moved here at 17. His first start was at 18 years old. You know what I mean? So there's only so much you can expect. And I think based on the circumstances, like he's proven everyone, or he's done well. And similar to like Jude and even Camavinga, like I think given the circumstances, injuries, international breaks, etc., I don't think it was necessarily bad per se.
We're gonna revisit this exact talking point like 10 times during this podcast. And in part because the super chats are coming in and they're very related. I'm just taking a quick glance, but let's get through it. There was a comment here about Carreras. Oh, this one first, actually. Memes says, can't lie, but Franco slipped today, ruined good chances. He wasn't the only one. There were like a few sequences where our attacking momentum just got wrecked because either Carreras slipped Militao slipped. Mastantuono slipped. Rodrigo slipped.
Vinny slipped.
Vinny slipped. So something obviously was. I mean, this is part of probably Getafe's grand plan of just shithousery. I'm sure they did something to the field on top of their what they were trying to do to us. Okay, so
Can I say something?
you may.
Okay, thank you. So I realize it's a podcast, but alas, I just want to say that there's a lot of discourse or conversation about, oh, we can barely beat Getafe. Like, good luck beating the big teams. Good luck beating PSG or Barca. Juventus.
Football doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense. It's kind of like, tell me you don't know ball without telling me. Because, like you said, a game like this, where 7,000 people are in the box and like their tactic is not only to park the most disgusting bus that you've ever seen, but to like go for ankles and like dirty ass tackles, that is not conducive to like a good performance or a bad performance. And let me go so far to say that I don't even think it was a bad performance. I think it was like a put the fries in the bag kind of performance. Do you know what I mean? Like, they did what they had to do. They got 3 points. There was no injuries besides maybe Alaba, but and no whatever, and then no red cards, and then they got the hell out. And so for me, confidence, 3 points. Vinny's looking good. Jude got minutes, and now we're going into Juventus in a Clasico. Hello, best case scenario.
I've never seen this side of you before. I kind of like it. I think it's good for ratings. I always thought put the fries in the bag is a derogatory term.
I'm not actually sure what it means. It sounded. I think it means like
professional.
Just
job done.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's what that means what you thought it meant. That's all I'll say. Look.
Well.
You know what else is crazy about this game? And this is a shocking stat. If you go to emoji-mates.com and you go to the Real Madrid section,
you do this and I never see it coming.
There's some incredible new stuff. And we got a code MM15 off for all Managing Madrid podcast listeners. MM15 off. Go to the checkout. Get these. For the love of God, look how beautiful this Cristiano Ronaldo sweater is.
It is kind of fire.
This one is a jacket. What? Bellingham, Carreras.
Wow, the zip down the middle of the two? That's fire.
Yeah, I mean, every time we circle back, there's new stuff. Go to moji-mates.com. Use code MM15 off or 15% off if you're a Managing Madrid podcast listener. That's MOJI-MATES.com. Yeah, I will just circle back to this. Not only are you correct about, I think, just people's reaction to this performance, but I also think these are the games we generally drop points in. Mm-hmm. So far, we haven't dropped points in the games we're supposed to win. I know that shit show against Atletico was terrible, and we criticized the hell out of that. But to win the league, you need to win these ugly games. And it's not every game is going to be beautiful. We had the Villarreal roller coaster where it was like 3-1 domination, beautiful football. And then there's this where you got to go in against a team that's going to be pure shithousery who doesn't have any interest in leaving their box. And it's going to be ugly and you need ugly wins. It's going to happen.
Guess who doesn't win those games?
What's that?
Guess who doesn't win those games against Levante, Getafe? Any guesses in the chat?
Barca?
Yes, correct.
Here's our XG for the game. 2.15 versus Getafe's 0.53. We had a big Bellingham chance. I don't remember this one for some reason. 53rd minute. saved Mbappe in the 81st minute. And then obviously Mbappe's goal was a great chance. He took it really well. Goulet assist. Then we had a lot of these shots were kind of like, you're trying to find an opening. It's not going to be clear cut. I think this was the one early, I guess, Mbappe. Not as big of a chance as I thought it would be. And then this was the heart stopper, Abu Kamara. 9-men Getafe nearly equalizing in the 95th minute.
Insane,
I can tell you, remember earlier in the podcast when I said this was almost a terrible Sunday night? Not only because Mbappe didn't score in the 79th minute to relieve our stress, but in the 95th minute, nearly flipped this entire podcast script on its head. And isn't it funny, Leah, how it comes down to these margins?
It is funny.
Our happiness comes down to these margins.
It does. Maybe it would have been canceled, the podcast. Who knows?
Let's move on. Let's take some more super chats. And there's quite a few more notes I'd like to discuss about this game too. I think the super chats will naturally take us there. Alberto says, nope, that's the one we took. Anthony says, I'm a bit concerned about Carreras. His form has been poor since the Atletico match. Yeah, I feel like he hasn't fully mentally recovered from the Atletico game.
Again, this is like, I mean, yes, but also 2 comments. Number one, it's what I said before. Like, Benfica is Benfica. Okay. It's not like, but still, like, there was a lot of pressure on him. It's a derby. Like, he's starting for the first time for Real Madrid in a derby. Like, that's a lot of pressure. Didn't have a great game. We got destroyed. Great. So these are the games like this, clean sheets, like before bigger games that help build that confidence back. So I'm not worried.
It's it's one of, I think today he was a bit of a mixed bag. Like there were a couple moments like he was just really poor on the ball. Either it's a giveaway or a little bit sloppy under pressure, indecisive. Then he had a couple really nice progressive passes through traffic and a good diagonal, switching it to the far side to Masantuono. Mixed bag, but I would agree with the general sentiment of Anthony, which is I don't think he's back to his pre-Atletico form, and I wonder if there was like just mental damage from the Atletico game that he still has to recover from. Ayush Tawari said, say it again.
Good thing Mendy's back.
Yeah. Mendy and Fran Garcia exists as well. Ayush Tawari says the first red card kind of spoiled the win for me. What's your take on that? Good to see we're rotating players. A win is a win, though. Hala Mari. I have to say this. I don't understand any uproar over this red card. We've been begging La Liga referees to protect Vinicius for ages, and we finally had someone with balls to do it. Neom is not even looking at the ball. He's like, all right, surely I won't get sent off. I just got here. Let me just clock Vinicius off the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm actually bored. No, go ahead.
No, and I like I said, I didn't see the second red card because I was just typing away. So I don't have an opinion on that.
I agree. And also for me, I don't think it spoils anything because sometimes those are the margins that you need to win a game against a team like that plays that style of football. But I agree. Like, first of all, shocked at the refereeing performance, if I may. I think that's the best, which is crazy that like that's where our standards are given how like poor it's been for us in the last few years, well, ever. But yeah, I think it was like the most fair and like good equal refereeing performance in some time. And yeah, not looking at the ball. The second yellow card or the second red card for the second yellow was like he again just chopped ankles, and it wasn't I wouldn't say it was as intentional, but like it was a hard tackle, missed the ball, got ankles, and it was a yellow on paper, but unfortunately he was already on yellow. So
there's some really interesting post-game quotes. And Bordalas was talking about his interaction with Jude. BR Super Chat says, Bordalas Vinicius told me nice substitute. So remember that whole thing with Bellingham where he pushed Bellingham? Do you see that? Bordalas pushed Bellingham. And he said later that it was because Vinicius told him nice substitute after bringing Niyama. Which, like, come on, man. If you don't think that's hilarious, get a grip. That's objectively great trash talk. Like, hey, nice sub, dude. Nice sub. You just wasted a sub. Red card. That's great trash talk.
And also, can I say something? That's going to be all over the internet, and people are going to be so mad at that like, shit, how good is that? But like any other team, that's like the most friendly, like non-aggressive shithousery ever. I digress.
Yeah, I said it on Twitter as well. I was like, just watch. Vini came on, he got 2 Getafe players on yellow cards, and he got 2 players sent off. And instead of the narrative being about Vinicius getting beat up, it's going to be about Vinicius provoking. Just watch. That's probably what's already happening as we're recording the podcast.
For sure.
Super chat from Femi, who says, how can we be so complacent with such a big opportunity against 9 men in the last minutes? We were careless. This I completely agree with. There should be no excuse letting in such a huge chance when you have 11 versus 9 in the last minute of the game. We've had moments like this throughout games where we just kind of like just brain farts and like lack of awareness. At that stage, you should just be controlling the game, passing it. We were trying to play like the final dagger ball, like in the last like 2-3 minutes of the game, where we should have just been controlling and just killing the game off with passes. We were playing just like these difficult passes into the box with like 30 seconds remaining. It was completely unnecessary.
We don't seem to learn, do we?
No. Akurjoti says, when do we get the FC 26 ratings reaction? I'm waiting to hear your thoughts on Carreras 80 versus Mendy 81, Kubarsi and Hausen both 82, Goulet 81, Franco 77. It's going to happen soon. Very soon. We're actually maybe next international break.
Did you tell them what we talked about the other day?
What did we talk about the other day?
About how ambitious we were. And
oh, right.
I think it was probably too ambitious.
No, we might do it tonight after the post-game show.
I'm excited to do this. And also, I just want to say, as like a teaser, is that Macedonia had like a +12 or +13 upgrade or something like that. So pretty cool.
That's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
BR says, thoughts on the Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Jude midfield. Yeah, I wanted to discuss this. From a defensive standpoint, I think it was very good. The ball winning in midfield was excellent. And part of the reason why also Getafe couldn't do anything with the ball or play through or anything like that. It's the other side that, that it's where you missed a Goulet in that trio, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about Camavinga's first start in ages, but he had some really nice interceptions, good ball carrying, and just good ball winning in midfield. I thought it was a solid first start for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was an amazing performance, but I think he looked good defensively in particular.
Yeah, I have no real complaints. It's, again, the same I said before. Coming back from injury, hasn't had a lot of, like, a whole crazy amount of minutes, I think, all things considered.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
I did want to talk about I think I noticed the absence of Hausen and Trent. And what I mean by that is, like, we signed these 2 players to help with our press resistance and our ball progression. And they're not in the field, and you can kind of see that Getafe barely pressed, but they pressed about 3 times. And every time they did, they gave us problems. Like, we just kind of kicked it out of bounds. We didn't really find a passing outlet. I think a combination of that and Goulet maybe not being on the field. I'm pretty comfortable when it gets to Fede on that side that he can drop his shoulder and escape pressure. But but I think you're missing Housen right now.
Mhm.
Peak Alaba obviously is a revelation in those situations, but you don't have that anymore. And
No.
this is I think what I'm most worried about in this upcoming stretch is we're down to like just bare bones in the back line.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been nice to go into the first Clasico with like our full brand new back line. Like you said, for several reasons. I think even as an aerial threat, those long balls from Housen, Trent. It's kind of like nice that we have. Isn't it nice to have depth? Because I'm like, oh wow, we still have Carvajal and Trent. Like, that's pretty nice.
I
So,
think they'll be back for Clasico, but I'm more unsure of if they'll start, which I don't think they'll start that game, which they
mhm,
shouldn't, to be clear. We've made so many mistakes of starting players who were not ready to start just because it was a big game. Just let them rest. I mean, Fede is fine at right back. I'm okay with that. As long as he's okay with it, we're all more than okay with it because he's good there. I just
mhm.
think he can affect the game more at the right back position than
Yeah.
in this scheme where he's kind of held back and playing deeper in midfield. Because at the right back position, he can literally do all the things he's good at, which is bomb up the field, provide overloads, provide passes into the box, all that stuff. Some of these super chats might be repetitive, so we'll just kind of skim through. Zeppelin says Vinicius getting a brace of red cards, a good villain, quote unquote, was needed for this type of match. I agree. Leah and I think we touch on this subject quite a bit. Did we miss any of these? Tim97 says, Kiyan, I felt sick after the game. Were we that poor or was it all Getafe? Help us move on. Oh, so this came in at about 21 minutes ago. I think since then we've helped the listeners move on. Would you say so?
I would say so.
Is there anything else we can do? Can we give you guys a virtual hug? All right, let me do a quick skim through my notes. What do we miss? Anything?
Do you think Courtois injured? No, just a little knock at the end.
Unclear. I don't know if it's anything serious. I don't think it's anything serious.
I have another question. Back to
Yes.
Housen and Trent. By the way, we still haven't. ESPN still hasn't got it together with Housen. Sometimes it's Hoysen.
Okay, can you please? I'm a
Anyway.
little bit confused because I think you and I had different feeds today for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, on TSN. So I had, but my feed was La Liga TV with like Guillem Balaguer. Yours was ESPN for some reason. I don't know why ours was different.
Yeah. I
Maybe
don't
there
know.
was two
Mine was a
different.
Portuguese feed at first. It was like
Yeah, mine
broadcasting
too.
literally the same. Oh, maybe it was the same. I don't
No,
know.
but they didn't get Housen wrong in my stream. And also based on your tweets, we had different commentators.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird. Very interesting. If one of the two were to start in the Clasico, Trent or Housen, who would you prefer it to be? I would say Housen.
Oh, Housen would be more urgent.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
more than okay with Fede, who might just be the best right back in the world.
Yes. Also, yes.
But without Housen, it's our ball progression falls off a cliff, I think, from that position.
I agree.
And also, I just don't think any combination of Alaba, Asensio, Rudiger, although like Asensio's actually been pretty good, I would say defensively. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely Housen to me.
There's something I was gonna say.
I like to say something or just something I
Okay.
observed. We had a free kick at the end of the first half, and Alaba took it instead of Masantuono. He did get it on goal, but it wasn't really threatening. I was so excited to see Masantuono take it from that angle.
Right.
And you could see like before the free kick, Alaba was like saying something to Masantuono. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what he said, but it was like clearly like, hey, man, I'm going to take this one.
And then he got injured.
And then he got injured, but I don't know. I was just really excited to see Masantuono take it because I keep replaying that free kick he had against Boca over and over in my head. And I'm like, man, I want to see him take those. I want to see him shoot more.
And also, if he was going to take a free kick, it would have been in a match that Art is not playing. Or, do you know what I mean? Because that would have been the one.
Our set pieces also improve when Arda got on the field.
Yep. Facts. I agree.
Yeah.
I would like to say something else.
Yeah.
I think we need to give a shout out to Militao. Because, like, what do you mean 2 ACLs? Isn't that insane? It's unbelievable that, like, he's back, maybe not quite his best yet, but, like, he's getting there, which is unbelievable because you look at some that have, like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Lucas and I had a big segment on this on the mailbag. That, like, Militao almost seems like a new signing. Like, he's because I factored him in as a squad player, but like as a bonus if he comes back good, not as like okay, we got the best version of Militao back. We have a starting caliber center back.
Yeah,
like
which is
him.
insane.
That it's a game changer for the season. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy to wrap it here.
I don't think there's much more to
You're
say
in agreement?
on. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on what we witnessed today.
I mean,
other than
41 minutes after that boring game.
It's pretty good. It's a record for us, I would say.
It's not bad. Guys, Lucas Navarrete is publishing a podcast tomorrow for members. That's Madrid Mornings. That's the day after every Real Madrid game. Members get a bonus segment. After that, Juve coverage. Mehdi is going to Madrid to cover the Juve game for us. We'll do some content there, and then I'll meet him there before Clasico. We're going to do a lot of content for the Clasico, and the Clasico post-game show, just a heads up, is only for members. If you want to join and get a bunch of bonus content and join the Real Madrid family that's ever growing, and you want to be a part of it, go to patreon.com/managingmadrid. Alternatively, you can hit join underneath this video. There's a YouTube memberships tab. You can join that way as well. Same content. And we'd love to meet you. Get in on the action. Patreon.com/managingmadrid. Become a member, and you'll get a ton of bonus content. Leah, so nice chatting with you.
Likewise. Wait, like and subscribe and comment.
It's too late, man. We forgot. It's too late.
Oh.
It's too late. Everyone's logged off by now. If you're still here, hit like, hit subscribe.
Tell your
much
friend.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Leah. Take care and
Bye.
peace out.